Hey sweet friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Michaela Barnhart. For those of you that are not new here, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be doing a little pregnancy chat slash update slash just telling you everything that's been going on, because I have yet to talk about my pregnancy in one video on my channel at all, and I am currently in my third trimester. So we really need to sit down and talk about it because a lot has happened in the last several months. And I kind of want to just document how everything has gone and how I'm feeling right now leading up to preparing for our little dude to get here. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. If you are interested in that, then stick around. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you can stick around for all the other videos to come once he is here and as we finish out the third trimester. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the video. All right, so where do we even begin? Because we have yet to talk about this. Obviously, I have told you guys that we are pregnant. And we've, I've talked about it in some videos and things, but I have not sat down and just told you how it has all gone and played out at this point. So that's what we're going to do today. I think I'm just going to jump all the way back to the beginning, give you the story of how we found out that we were expecting, and just kind of walk you through each step of the journey up to where we're at today. So basically, we found out we were pregnant on December 21st. I think it was the 21st at least. It was a Monday afternoon. I actually had a full day of work that day, and then that Tuesday was a half day, and then we were out for our Christmas break. So that Monday at work had done passed. I had a doctor's appointment that afternoon, or a dentist appointment that afternoon, sorry. I had a dentist appointment that afternoon with my sister, which plays into the story, I promise. So my sister is my dental hygienist. I went to go get my teeth cleaned late that evening at 5:30 or whatever. And I could not stand. Let me preface this with saying I like the dentist. I'm not a person that's ever been afraid of the dentist or nervous about the dentist or anything like that. I really enjoy going to the dentist. I do think a lot of that has to do with the fact that my sister is my dental hygienist. So she's the one cleaning my teeth and doing everything. But I had a dentist appointment that afternoon, so I went, whatever. She and I, were talking, she got started, and I have never been one to have terrible gag reflexes, but I could not get it together. Even when she, just got this close, to sticking something in my mouth, I instantly started gagging. And I was like, why? I asked her, I was like, what is going on? Why do you think I would be doing that? Because obviously at this point, I did not know I was pregnant. I felt completely fine. I was not sick in any way, or anything like that. So I was like, why? What is going on with me? This is not normal for me. And she was even kind of laughing about it because she was like, this is not at all how you usually act. Do we need to give you some laughing gas or something? Because I could not get it together. We eventually ended up getting the whole thing. She cleaned my teeth or whatever. We got done. The dentist checked me. Everything was good. But, she mentioned right before I left, she was like, because at this point we had been trying for a little while, which I have touched on in another video, but we had been trying for a little while. So she knew, that we were trying to get pregnant or whatever. So she was like, have you tested recently? Is it time to test? Is there a potential that you can be pregnant? And I was like, well, I guess it is. It was a little early. I was going to wait until the end of that week to test, closer to actual Christmas Day and after. But I was like, well, I guess there is a chance, it could be time to test or whatever. So she was like, well, it's just weird that you're gagging, that's not normal for you, yada, yada, yada. So anyways, she recommended that I go home and just take a test to see how, if I was pregnant or not, or if anything would show up. So I went home. Like I said, I had not been prepared to test or anything. The only thing I had was one of those little Dollar Tree ones, and I only had one. So just the generic little pink, I don't know, it was this big, a little pink thing. So I tested or whatever. I didn't say anything to Jeremiah when I got home. I just got home, I cooked dinner, whatever. We ate, we did all of that. And then I was like, okay, I went to the bathroom, I tested, and you're not supposed to test at night anyways. Apparently you're supposed to do it first thing in the morning. This is gross, but not gross, but first pee is supposed to be the best pee to test if you or mom, I'm sure you've heard that before, or if you're trying or whatever, but you're supposed to test first thing in the morning. So I really went into the bathroom thinking there's no way. Not only is it too early to test, I need to wait a few more days. It's also the evening, I'm about to go to bed. This can't be it. This is not going to be it. Well, I tested, and sure enough, there were 2 pink lines. We were pregnant. And I like panicked. So I instantly, without thinking about what I was doing, sent a picture of the test to my sister and was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Like, you're right. And so she was like all excited, you know, whatever. Well, then I'm like, well, dang, I didn't tell Jeremiah first. Like, obviously he's my husband. Should have told him first. So now I had this pressure of like, I have to tell him. Anyway, so I go in there. I did not film telling him because it was the crappiest way to tell him. I honestly was just in such of a panic and like oh my God, we're pregnant. Like, I cannot believe this. I literally just walked up to him and threw the test in his lap and was like, look at that. Look at what we got here. And he got all excited, of course, or whatever. But that was pretty much how we found out we were pregnant. I think it's a pretty funny story considering that it all stemmed just from going to get my teeth cleaned that day. Which is a weird way to like lead into that happening. But anyways, like I said, we found out we were pregnant right before Christmas. At that point, I was not having any other symptoms other than the fact that I could not stop gagging at the dentist. So moving on into like going back to school, all that stuff after the like break or whatever was over, I started getting really bad back pain. That was like the first symptom that I had of being pregnant. So really bad back pain. I went to the doctor. They checked me for everything, said everything was good. That was normal. It was okay. The only to worry, like if I started having bleeding or other problems, which I never did, thankfully. So I started dealing with a lot of back pain right at the beginning. Then just a few weeks in, I started having a lot of nausea. So, you know, like the typical morning sickness, but I had it all day long. Like it never went away. It would start as soon as I got up in the morning and I would go to bed feeling disgusting at night. Like I could not get away from the nausea at all throughout the day. It did not matter what I did. I did end up finding later on into like the end of my first trimester, beginning of my second, they're called like Preggy Pops, I think. They're like little like hard candy type things. They do have ones that are like suckers, but I had little hard candy versions and those seem to help a little bit. The only thing is there were some of those that the taste would also make me sick. So there were only a few flavors I could use that would help. But anyways, so nausea started and it was terrible. That has by far been the like worst thing of being pregnant up until this point. I hated being nauseous beforehand. Like I'm just the kind of person that I hate being sick. I hate feeling sick. I hate getting sick, all that kind of stuff. So being nauseous constantly was terrible for me. And like I said, it truly was constant. Like I would wake up and it would instantly just feel sick. Throughout my first trimester, I never actually got sick. So I never like would throw up or anything. It was just nauseous. I was nauseous all day long. And I ended up having a lot of food aversions because of it. Things that I used to eat constantly, like every day. So one example, like a good example of this was coffee. I used to drink coffee every day, at least 1-2 cups in the morning, potentially another cup. Like it just depended on the day. But I used to be a heavy coffee drinker. And when I started getting nauseous, I cut coffee out completely. I did not drink any coffee for months. I think I drank my first cup of coffee again back in May, like a Memorial Day weekend. Actually, I remember it because we were with my parents and my mom made me a cup, and that was the first time I actually could get it down and not feel sick at all. Like I loved drinking it again, and now I'm drinking it every day. But that was the first thing to go. So coffee, the smell of it would make me feel terrible. The smell of cheese made me feel terrible. Not just the taste. I couldn't even get to the point of tasting it. Just the smell of cheese was terrible for me. A lot of things like pasta I cut out, ground meat I could not do, like for tacos and stuff. Completely stopped eating tacos, and I used to eat tacos every Tuesday, like some version of it at least. Like I would either eat like hamburger meat tacos, like chicken nachos, like something to that effect every Tuesday, and I cut all of that out. I cut out a lot of things that involve cheese, like eating a baked potato. I used to love to have like a baked potato for lunch or something. Cut that out completely because I cannot eat a baked potato without cheese. Salads I used to love. I cut that out because of the cheese. And also other things like bacon bits and things like that did not settle well with me. So all that I cut out completely in my first trimester, which was rough because then I was left with very little to eat, like very little options of things I would eat. that would not make me instantly sick. So anyways, because of that, I ended up losing a lot of weight in my first trimester. I lost almost 16 pounds total from the time I found out I was pregnant until about like maybe 2 months ago. So for those first several months, I was just losing weight. I was not gaining anything. I was constantly losing weight, and I was losing it pretty fast, considering that in my mind, it should have been a time where I was putting weight on. I was losing a lot of weight. So anyways, they said that was normal, not to worry about that. I continued to lose weight up until, like I said, a few months ago, and then it just kind of plateaued out. And right now I have not gained anything back. I'm just kind of like hanging out, which, you know, it is what it is. If baby's getting what he needs, I feel healthy now. I'm not sick all the time. I can eat normal again. You know, they said not to worry about it. So anyways, moving on from that, moving on to like the beginning of the second trimester. The back pain started to go away for the most part. It has come back since then, but it started to go away at the beginning of the second trimester. But the nausea, whatever you would call that, did not. So I stayed nauseous still all day long. And in my second trimester, I actually got to a point where I would like truly get sick. Like I would actually throw up. I would wake up almost every morning when I would brush my teeth getting ready for work. I would throw up. Sometimes I would throw up in the evenings again. Like it was just all day. I threw up at work several times. So all throughout the day, I was actually getting sick now, which was not helping, because since I was not able to eat a lot of the things that I normally would eat, I'm now getting sick and being nauseous all day. I started having these like little spells where I would almost black out. I had one at work one morning. The first one that actually happened was at work. I remember I was standing in the hallway, like chatting with my team or whatever. We always stood in the hallway in the mornings as the kids come in, and the four of us would just like chat and goof off and like cut up or whatever, just to kind of get the day started on a good note. And I had like kids coming in. I had some kids in my room who were already started on their morning work and everything. And I just remember like I leaned up against the door frame. I was standing like in my classroom doorway or whatever. I leaned up against the door frame and just kind of like held on to the little mailbox thing that was there for a second, because I just started feeling like I was about to fall over. Like my head just felt very blurry. The lights, like the fluorescent lights in the hallway, were like giving me all kinds of weird vibes. Like I could not get my brain to like think right. And one of my coworkers, she was like, I guess they were like cutting up still or whatever. She like completely stopped laughing and looked at me, and she was like, "Are you okay? Like you don't look good at all right now." And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay." I was like, you know, I closed my eyes and I was like, I just feel like I'm about to fall out. Like I don't feel sick or anything. I just feel funny. Like my brain feels fuzzy. That's what I kept saying. So they were like, "Go sit down," or whatever. I ended up making it to my chair at my desk, and at that point I was seeing almost nothing but black. Like I would get like glimpses and then everything would go black, and I would get glimpses and everything would go black. And I could not put like coherent words together. Like nothing was making sense. I was trying to tell them like I couldn't see anything, like everything was going black. Like I was trying to list things that might be wrong, like check my blood pressure, what's my blood sugar, like is my heart rate okay? Like I was trying to like tell them what I needed them to do. And they were saying like I just wasn't making sense at all. Like just, I would think like a whole sentence, but only one word would come out of that sentence. So that was really scary. They ended up checking me there at school and then sending me home, and I went to the doctor. The doctor ended up prescribing me some medication to take for the nausea, because they said it was due to me not being able to eat enough and keep stuff down. But the nausea medicine they put me on ended up causing more problems, so I was only on it for a week and then came back off. Anyways, though, all of that to say, I did have a rough first part of the pregnancy. It definitely was not easy for me. It's probably the hardest thing that I ever went through was my first 2 trimesters. But thankfully now we are in the 3rd trimester and I am feeling a lot better. If you cannot tell, I feel like I look a lot better. I look healthy again, back to eating normal. I can drink coffee again, all those things. I can eat cheese again. So life is good. But anyways, we're doing much better now. So the only symptoms that I have right now that are kind of like just those pestery, I don't like them symptoms, are no longer nausea. nausea has been replaced with almost constant heartburn. Like, I swear if this child does not come out with a lot of hair on his head, I'm gonna be really upset for what I've went through, because I have heartburn almost constantly. I have found ways to deal with it, so it's definitely not as bad as being nauseous all the time, because I've found different like things I can do, and like just things I can eat and stuff like that that will help the heartburn. But that's definitely the biggest thing I have right now, as well as just a lot of pain. I constantly am in a lot of pain in my back, and in my my lower tummy area. My like lower abdomen stays in a lot of pain. So that's kind of where we're at now, but much better, and I feel like a normal human again in comparison to how I felt my first and second trimester. So that is kind of a recap on where we're at so far. For those of you that did not know up till this point, we are having a little boy. We did do a gender reveal, and I did post a video of that. Just like, it was actually our announcement for YouTube that we were pregnant. I posted like the announcement, the gender reveal, and his name like all in one video, so definitely go check that out. I'll try to have it linked in the card at the end. But we are having a little boy. His name is Gatlin James Barnhart. Gatlin was his first name or whatever, was just something we found that we both really liked. One of our favorite places to go is Gatlinburg. That's like my all-time favorite place to go in the mountains, is Gatlinburg and the Pigeon Forge area. So a lot of people think we named him after that, which we did not. We just found that name somewhere, and it really just seemed to click, and we liked it. And then James is his middle name. That is my stepdad's first name, so that's where we got that from. So he's Gatlin James, and then of course Barnhart. But anyways, he is due in August. As of right now, we are measuring ahead. He's a little bit on the chunkier side. My like uterus or whatever, however they measure that, is measuring ahead as well. So we're like, technically right now we are 32 weeks in a couple days, but we're measuring closer to 34 in a couple days. So we'll go see, go today for another checkup to see how everything is going. So we'll see what they say today, if we're still measuring ahead or not. But anyways, that is how it's been going. Kind of just a quick, I know that was not an in-depth really update. So if you guys have any questions about anything, definitely let me know. Some other videos that you can expect coming are just some vlogs, obviously showing how pregnancy is going like in real life, or in real time, I guess. And then we also are finishing up his nursery. We actually have like furniture built and everything going in now. So once we have a baby shower in like 2 weeks, I think. It's not this Saturday, but it's the next. So once we have his baby shower and I get everything kind of like cleaned and hung up, like all of his clothes and anything we get there, and get the like decorations put up that we have, because we have not done that yet. Once we get all of that done, I will film a nursery tour for you guys so you guys can see all of that as well. So yeah, that is the plan going forward. If you guys have any questions or comments, or if you just want to share what your pregnancy was like, definitely leave it in the comments below. As we get closer, I'll share more of what our like plan for birth is, and obviously talking about how that goes once it's all over. Fingers crossed and prayers that we have a safe, healthy delivery, and that we have a nice, healthy, chunky little baby boy once this is all said and done. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, like I said at the beginning, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye guys.